Day 25. Last night, soldiers spotted and killed a Gazan who had crossed into Israel and reached the Re'im junction. The commander of Hamas's Bet Nahia battalion, Nissam Abu Ajina, who was responsible for commanding the terrorists who carried out the onslaught at Kibbutz Erez and Netiv HaAsara on October the 7th, was killed in an overnight airstrike. Today, the country was facing attacks on 3 fronts. Rockets were fired from Gaza towards areas north of Tel Aviv, including Kfar Saba, Julia, and Hod HaSharon. Hamas also launched rockets toward areas surrounding Beersheba, including regions where many Bedouin live without proper access to shelters. 1 person was hurt. Ashdod was hit by a barrage of rockets with 3 injuries. The IDF reported that troops were engaged in fierce battles against Hamas terrorists deep in the Gaza Strip. They said troops killed dozens of terrorists as well as seizing weapons. The chief of staff of the Iranian army, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, claimed today that there are over 400 kilometers of tunnels underneath the northern section of the Gaza Strip. He said vehicles and motorcycles can pass through some of them. In the north, missiles were fired by Hezbollah at IDF positions. 2 rockets were fired at northern Israel, setting off sirens in Metula. Both projectiles landed short in Lebanon. The army struck a cell in southern Lebanon, preparing to carry out an anti-tank guided missile attack. The Arrow air defense system intercepted a surface-to-surface missile launched from Yemen towards Eilat, believed to have been launched by the Iran-backed Houthis. IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said the IDF has now identified 240 hostages still being held in the Gaza Strip, bringing the number of confirmed people who were abducted on October 7th to at least 245. There are still dozens more missing people whose fates are currently unknown. Last night, settlers torched a home in the Palestinian town of Masafa Yatta before fleeing the scene. Another group of settlers hurled rocks at homes in the nearby village of Tuba. Settler violence has intensified dramatically since the Israel-Hamas war. Prominent settlement activist Ariel Danino was put into administrative detention for 4 months after Defence Minister Yoav Gallant approved the order on Sunday. Britain's Labour leader, Keir Starmer, defended his decision not to call for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza amid internal dissent over the stance, saying that if the war were to be called off now, Hamas would be emboldened and start preparing for future violence immediately. Instead, he called for pauses in the fighting for clear and specified humanitarian purposes. The mother of rescued soldier Ori Megidish gave a short statement to the media and supporters outside her Kiryat Gat home saying, "Thank you all for the prayers and support. Our Ori has returned home. Now we pray for the rest of the hostages and those missing, and our heart is with all the families." This is Peter Jones-Pellach reporting for NCJWA, Australia.